Welcome to Bold Talk series, where creativity, leadership, ideas, innovation come together. My name is Ludvik, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Steve Burke, founder and CEO at Agora Data. Steve, great seeing you. Welcome to our Bold Talk series. How are you?
I'm great, Epi, and thank you for having me.
That's great, Steve. Good to see you. Steve, can you tell us about your journey and what motivated you to start Agora Data?
Sure. So I've been in the auto finance industry for about 45 years. And in 2016, we came up with an idea for Agora of connecting car dealerships, small to mid-tier car dealerships and finance companies with the capital markets through our platform and through our technology.
That's amazing. Now, how did it all started? What was your background before in the automotive industry or?
Yeah, no, I've been in auto finance, for 45
Oh,
years. And, most of auto finance is controlled by large banks and credit unions or large, what's called independent finance companies. And all of those entities have access to either federal funds, from the US government or to what's called auto securitizations, which is basically, capital market connections and activity. And the smaller entities like smaller car dealerships and mid-tier finance companies can't access that capital in an efficient way. So we set out to crowdsource auto dealers into a auto securitization in the capital markets and connect them with very affordable and abundant capital that's not available to them
mhm.
prior to a goal.
Nice. Now, are there any platforms like yours out there in the market or similar to them? And if there are, how different you're from them?
Yeah, currently we have no competition in being able to crowdsource car dealerships into auto securitizations.
Mhm.
Our only competition would be banks and credit unions and those finance companies I talked about wanting to get business from the car dealerships. But through our platform, we turn that car dealer into what we would call a captive finance company. So that car dealership becomes the finance company and we're providing that technology and capital. So currently, we don't have any competition in that space.
Oh, that's a good place to be, Steve.
It wouldn't be bad, Epi, if we had a little bit of competition because then there's more people doing it and word gets out a little bit,
Yeah.
quicker. But currently we enjoy no competition.
Yeah. And is this only for the US market, Steve?
Yeah, currently we're only in the United States, and currently it's only for auto dealerships and finance companies, in the auto space. One day we'll probably expand into other types of consumer products.
That's great. Now, Steve, obviously leadership matters. The qualities that needs to be in leadership are very important for a fast-paced business environment. What key qualities do you believe are essential for effective leadership in today's fast-paced business environment that we're in?
Sure, sure. And the old cliche of lead by example is definitely something that we do. I try to set the pace in my organization and do the things that need to be done for people to see, by example, how I handle certain things. But I think it goes beyond that, Epi. I think integrity is a big part of leadership these days, and also buy-in. Too many leaders don't get true buy-in from their leadership teams and other managers within a company. So we spend a lot of time on making sure that folks at Agora buy into what we're doing, and I find that makes it makes us much more efficient and producing better products.
Yeah. Um, Now you mentioned about crowdsourcing as a part of your a dealership, the way how you're crowdsourcing. How do you see the role of crowdsourcing evolving at Agora Data in the next few years?
Certainly, and that's core to our business. So When we invented what we call a crowdsourced auto securitization, in the auto space, you have to have maybe $200 million of assets to do an efficient auto securitization, to basically sell bonds, on Wall Street. So what we did is we took the car dealerships that maybe only have 1 million or 2 or 3 million of assets, and we crowdsource them or aggregate them together. And then by aggregating them, we'll take maybe 100 car dealers that each have $2 million. So now you have your 200 million. Aggregate, crowdsource that into an auto securitization. That's just growing, rapidly. Our first deal, I think we only had about 60 car dealerships in that crowdsourced securitization, and that can grow to hundreds, if not thousands, of car dealers into a crowdsourced securitization. Core to our business, we developed the technology and the platform and the deal structures to be able to do that. It's been a long journey, but we successfully did our first crowdsourced securitization in 2020.
Wow, it's incredible, amazing, huh? How innovation in such a vertical, which is a very niche, I would say, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we not only help, let's say, the car dealerships get affordable and abundant capital, but we brought a new source of assets to the capital markets where they couldn't go and let's say target dealers with a couple $1 million. It was not efficient for capital markets. So we sort of created a win-win. We have the dealerships that we crowdsource are winning by getting affordable and abundant capital. And then we have the capital markets with more assets that they can actually buy.
Um, Incredible. Now, Steve, how do you stay ahead of industry trends to ensure your company remains innovative?
Yeah, I mean, we do a hackathon periodically and develop some really neat and cool ideas. I think we have a very collaborative environment, here at Agora. My door is always open, and we're always listening to new ideas and always trying to, in a positive way, disrupt an industry that really hasn't had much change in 40 or 50 years. So, innovation is really created by letting people experiment. We fail fast, on things that we'll release. And then when we do a release, if we're not failing fast, we're looking to improve, whatever product or feature we just released. But I think it really starts with a collaborative environment where anybody at Agora can come up with any idea at any time, and we'll try it.
Yeah. Well, that also and encourage people to try and to fail and fail fast in order to be able to bring that spirit of innovation, right? Now,
Absolutely.
how what's that in the culture like? When people try and they fail, what's in it in your culture?
We actually reward that. It's in our Slack channel, for instance, if we fail at releasing something or the product, the feature doesn't work exactly as intended, we actually reward the people that discover, that it failed, and then reward the people that tried, something new, because that's what we want to do, right? We don't want to discourage folks from trying new things and being innovative. So we reward failure as much as we reward success.
Yeah. Do you see any specific trends that are shaping the future of your industry?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think with all of the different types of AI that are being implemented now and the large data sets that we have and that we're able to either get organically or buy,
Mm.
we're able to have scalpel-like predictability. And that's definitely changing our environment because, if you think about it, Epi, in the prime auto space, you're dealing with a maybe a FICO score that's an 800 FICO score, and you don't need any models to know that an 800 FICO is going to pay. And FICO is a very old, modeling that was used, or risk scores that were used. But when you're in that upper band of FICO, they're going to pay. And then when you get into those lower bands of FICO, that's where our modeling, gives us an advantage. That's where using some of the machine learning models that we've developed is able to pinpoint accurate risk profiles at the consumer and the loan structure level. So definitely see that evolving even more over, the next, let's say, decade, with the advent of some really cool AI.
Wow, it's amazing what you can do today with the tools that we have available.
It is. But one thing that we do here at Agora is we combine that with a lot of human experience. So when we built out our leadership and management teams, we don't just look for folks that come from the tech space and, can develop some really neat AI models. We also have a lot of human experience, and we start combining that human experience with that AI. And that's how we even get sharper models that run very efficient and very predictable.
Yeah, yeah, it's always having a human in the loop, having a human as a central focus is what
Yes,
we need more of those type of innovations, right?
definitely,
We
definitely.
we tend to forget about these things. We're developing all this great innovation, but then we tend to forget that, okay, why are we developing these kind of tools, right?
Right. We think when we develop tools, we think of the consumer first, right? And really want to, have models that create fair transactions for consumers. And then combining that with crowdsourcing the dealers and getting them the abundant capital to do that. It really starts with that human experience. And then when you start training your models, it just gets that much more predictable. And it's kind of rewarding when you see all those wins for the consumer, for the dealer, for the capital markets, and you see it working and the models are predictable. It sort of puts a smile on all our faces. You asked about how we reward people or how we treat people when they fail. Well, now we're talking about some of the successes in the modeling, and that definitely drives a lot of folks around here to really have that great, accurate predictability.
Yeah. Now, Steve, with everything that's happening in the world, including politics, does the future looks bright?
Oh, I think so. I think, I'm a glass half full guy. I always look at things half full. That's how I run my life. That's how I run my business. Obviously in the United States here, we're in a heated political season. Countries probably divided 50-50. We've just got through COVID. In my industry, we just got through interest rates going through the ceiling and used car prices going up and dropping, gas prices going way up. Everything that could have an adverse effect on auto lending has happened in the last 2 years. But yet, I think the future is very bright. We're seeing signs actually of a very bright future.
Love it. Love that the optimism that is pulling you towards the future. Steve,
Yeah.
what does bold mean to you?
Oh, taking chances, doing things slightly different, um, not the status quo. When we developed Agora, if we couldn't, in a positive way, disrupt an industry, we were not going to do it.
Hmm.
We just to be a finance company is very easy. I've done it my whole career. I've been a banker my whole career. But to create an entire way of disrupting a $1 trillion 50-year-old industry and stepping out and taking that chance and putting up our capital to do so, to me that's bold. That's innovative, that's entrepreneurial, and that's bold.
Love it. Love the spirit, Steve. I wish we had more to talk. Maybe next time we'll have a longer format. In meantime, always be bold. Congrats to all your great achievements. Thank you for joining me in this Bold Talk series, and look forward to seeing you soon again. Until next time, take care, be great, and be bold always, Steve.
Great. And Epi, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed this.
Likewise, take care.
Bye-bye.